He didn't wear any Falcon paraphernalia.
Yeah.
All right, take it away.
Zach, what is your approach when you have an aspect of your game like the run game that works so well, but you may want to look to evolve some things to stay ahead of what defenses have seen on film and things like, how do you balance that sticking and not rocking the boat too much, but also growing in adding some things?
Yeah, our offense, as any offense, is going to run through the run game, and we've obviously got great offensive line coach Ledford, Nick Jones, Flats. Those guys are doing a great job. Obviously, the 5 guys that we got, we wouldn't trade them for anybody, and so we know we'll run through those guys, sticking with our core, foundation of wide zone. And then, like you just mentioned, in the off season, that's where we got to look at it as coaches, and we spend a bunch of time together collaborating. Hey, what are some of the compliments we can get going off of some of the stuff that obviously a year into it now everybody's watching our stuff from last season. So it was a good collaboration all spring, and I think we've got some good mixers that will hopefully show up once we start playing real football. But it was a great collaboration between the whole staff in the off season, and pick and choosing, not losing our identity of what we know we're going to be, and then what are those compliments off of the wide zone that we can get going. I think it's been really positive so far.
Do you feel that you're maybe able to reach deeper into the bag because of the consistency and the experience that you have in the offensive line? I know Newsel is a new starter, but he's been here, and then Ledford with the coaching is consistent. Can you do it
for sure
more, feel more confident?
Absolutely. The continuity that we have with those guys plus all the guys we have back. I've never been on a team that has this many, returning starters, and so that's where you can kind of push it to another level. Like you're saying, last year you're installing a new system, new scheme, new everything for guys. So you kind of, you go with your stuff that you're going to run, and then, but the continuity is invaluable in terms of the guys already mastering the system, the ownership that they show with what we're doing. They're all confident in what we do, and then that's where we can kind of, sprinkle in some new thoughts here and there, and those guys can handle it. We've got a bunch of smart guys, which is awesome. So definitely finding those balance between keeping our bread and butter going and then those complementary mixers.
How do you think Michael's looked so far?
He's been good. He's had a really solid camp. I think today, overall, as an offense, the defense definitely got the better of us. But it's been a great start for Mike. Great start with, the receivers. We're missing Mooney a little bit, but the other guys are stepping up, and they're doing a great job. Offensive line, pass protection, run game, they're doing their part. So I'm really pleased with where Mike's at. We had a good situation that came up yesterday, and we threw an interception, his first one at camp, in kind of a O-zone type of situation, we call it. And so those are the things that the more situations we can put him in to simulate the games, knowing he's only played 3 games, but he's got so much experience that even the conversations that him and I have after a series, he sees the game so well, and he's just incredibly intelligent in that regard. So he'll keep growing with the rest of our skill guys, and getting anything that's just, oh man, maybe we just missed it. The next time he's hitting those. So that's been really positive. But he's doing a great job leading those guys, and really pleased where Mike's at.
Zach, I was talking to Jake Matthews post practice, and he was talking about how many team reps that they're getting, and he says he's really thankful for the live team reps. Is that by design? You guys like 40, 45 snaps of team reps?
Yeah, by design. Where Ra and I were coaching at before with the Rams, we weren't really a 7-on-7 operation to get those live reps in the pocket for the quarterback, to get the pass protection with the offensive line. So we're able to get, like you just said, a bunch of team reps, which is nice. No 7-on-7, where you can feel good coming out of the day, but there's going to be a real pass rush in the game. So those reps have been awesome just for quarterbacks feeling what the pocket feels like. They know they can't get hit, but they're still making those movements that you need to try to simulate a game. But all those team reps that Ra's got scripted up have been great.
How much has to change, if anything, with Mooney out?
We'll operate the same way, similar to, the last game of the season. Obviously, we made some moves there with Ray and with Red there. So, and then we're bringing around these young guys. So those guys are getting some reps with the ones, and the Casey Washingtons and, David Sills, and those guys are doing a great job stepping in. So it's been cool. We have a ton of competition in that room, which you love. Those guys are working hard. There's some young guys getting some opportunities, but we're operating the same way, we would, with Mooney in there. Obviously, we miss him, and we know he'll be back pretty soon. But it's been great that we do have that receivers getting a bunch of different reps.
It seems like as Sills surprised you in some ways? Has he overachieved at some point, this summer?
I wouldn't say surprised, because the moment he got here in OTAs, you could see it. He does have some speed down the field, and he's got some change of direction skills. So he catches the ball extremely well. So we saw that right when we got here, or right when he got here rather, and he's just continued to grow in the offense, get more comfort. He can really line up in all three spots right now for us, which is invaluable. So he's done a great job. He's getting a lot of good reps against our one defense, some matchups with AJ, and those guys are obviously really good players on the other side that he's getting good reps. But really pleased with where Sills is at.
He was a quarterback, in high school.
Yeah, I remember him from
Have you talked to him a little bit? Have you had kind of obviously he has the mind of a quarterback, but he's playing wide receiver.
Yeah, absolutely. He sees the game like a quarterback. He, like you mentioned, he's grew up playing quarterback, made that switch to receiver. Anytime that happens, and you have a physical skill set, it's always going to be a good thing. So he's doing a great job.
Zach, you mentioned the continuity and how you guys got here. We're having to start running. Just for you personally, obviously that was your first year in that role, or the role you have. Can you describe just maybe the comfort level you feel now, or things now that maybe become second nature to you?
Sure.
Learn?
Yeah, just like anybody with second year on the job, I'm sure you can remember the same thing. There's a lot of comfort with it, and we have great continuity on the staff, which is awesome. We lost one coach last year. Chandler Whitmer went to Indiana, and so being around the staff for another year, knowing how we work with each other, being around the players, it's a really cool vibe that those guys have just overall. They love playing football. They're incredibly smart, and it's been fun to just go to work with these guys every day. So we're all feeling, you can take a deep breath, knowing we're not, in the early stages of an install from a season ago, and it's all been positive, and we'll just keep pushing in the right direction.
Can you think of something either like 12 months ago now or during the season where you felt like, I've never done this before, I kind of figured out it, where now maybe it's more second?
Yeah, can't really point to a specific time. I mean, things are moving so fast day to day. You don't even really have time to think about some of those things. But yeah, definitely when we got back last off season, got back into the flow of things, it just feels like our communication as coaches and players has taken a big jump.
Going back to Mike, have you been around a guy that has so much experience in terms of the mental and stuff like that, but with so little actual game experience playing just?
Sure. I'm trying to think. Not really. I was with Jared Goff, but he was into his third year when I got there in 2019, so he had already seen, a decent amount of NFL games. But in terms of a starter, no, this is the first time I've had a guy that has played a ton, sees the game the right way, but just is missing those game reps. So we're getting a ton of good work versus our defense. Those guys are doing a great job. They're making us better. It feels like we're getting game reps, in practice. So all those things will just keep stacking on and keep working.
Along those lines, it does feel like there has been a back and forth nature to this training camp in particular. In your experience, is that indicative of kind of a healthy overall team?
100%. There's you can feel the culture that's been set by Raheem, the rest of our coaches, our players. Like, you guys have been out there. I mean, it's a competitive atmosphere out there, both sides of the ball. There's a good period for the offense, good period for the defense. It's been back and forth. Like I mentioned, they're giving us some great looks, challenging us with some things. Hopefully they feel like they're getting challenged from us offensively, scheme-wise too. And it's really fun to just go out to the practice field and, you hear guys talking crap to each other. And that's football. That's what happens when they're playing real games, between the lines on Sunday. So it's a blast. But again, it just goes back to the culture of Ra, and you guys know Ra. I mean, it's been really special to see this thing going into year two and the stuff that we're building.
I just felt like I think that once Mike got some more familiarity with the starting wide receivers, that would take care of most of the completion percentage issues from a year ago. Are you seeing that play out?
Sure. Yeah, I think there was, I didn't feel personally like the completion percentage, in a small 3-game sample size. The box score stats, as we know, can be a little bit misleading. We know he's going to be aggressive throwing the ball down the field. We've had some intentionally scripted days where we're trying to throw some underneath stuff just to kind of get some of that game going, because I know he's going to be aggressive on game day, and that's what we want. But that stuff will take care of itself. I think the camaraderie that he has with the receivers right now, with Ray, he's had a great camp. Obviously, Drake, he's made a ton of plays. We've been able to get some shots down the field. Bijan's, doing a great job in the pass game as well. So they'll continue to grow. We still got, over a month before the first game, and it's cool to see where we're at now with those guys, and as opposed to, he got thrown in that first week and he had never thrown a routes on air rep to Mooney, and they were able to make some things happen. But to go back to your question, I think it's just going to naturally take care of itself. That's where I can help out with play calls, trying to get some underneath stuff that can kind of get them in a rhythm.
His consistent accuracy on that underneath and intermediate stuff, you're good with that? You think that's?
Yeah, I have no problems with it. I've always thought Mike is an accurate quarterback, and he has the ability to where it might look like a miss, when you're watching from the hill or something, but really you're seeing it and he's just fixing it late in the down, and he ends up saying, I felt like the defender was undercutting it, so I left it high. Could look like a miss, but in his mind, he's so instinctual with some of the stuff that he sees, and you'll never question a quarterback's instincts and what they're seeing and what they're feeling. Just got to let those guys play ball, but I absolutely have no problem with it.
What is Mike like on the golf course? He's been talking about. He's played with you a little bit. He said he's been so pissed off. You don't want to he doesn't want to talk to you, or don't like. You guys have had some battles out there on the golf course.
Yeah, no, it's been
and
fun.
He's trying to pick up something new, I would imagine. So it's kind of different. You get a different perspective, I would imagine.
Yeah, it's fun to play with Mike. We've played a couple times, and I think he's referring to the last time he left not happy. I think he sent like an Instagram saying I need a golf coach right after. We were still in the golf cart, and he was already looking for a coach. But no, it's fun. When he connects, it can absolutely go. But he's new to the game, and he's getting into it. It's fun. We have a bunch of guys, like we were saying in the spring, that love to play golf, and we're also playing at a very difficult golf course, River Club. There's out of bounds right, out of bounds left. You can't just spray it all over the place. So I'm like, you choosing to play this course as you're getting going with golf, maybe take it down the road or something. But it's been fun. He's such a cool guy all the time, so calm, and just a good guy to be around all the time.
You talked about the depth in the receiver room. Have you noticed a competition level change with Mooney out? Is there a bit of a different vibe knowing that there's an opportunity there?
I think so, a little bit. I feel like those guys love to compete even when Mooney's out there, but obviously Ray and the rest of the guys stepping up a little bit in his absence has been cool. But those guys in that room, it's a highly competitive room, and so I think you're going to see that even when Mooney's back, those guys just taking their game to another level.
Zach, I'm curious, from your vantage point, what have you seen from James Pierce Jr. and Drew Carrero out there?
Those guys are showing up. You definitely feel them when you're out there. You notice them. There's so many guys getting reps, and sometimes it's the ones, the twos, the threes. But I can tell you, every time he's out on the field, you definitely feel him. And so those guys have done a great job. Rook's done a great job. Their energy level has been awesome for our offense. Hopefully, they feel the same way about how we're attacking, offensively. So it's been fun to see the defensive guys, the juice that they're bringing, the coaches, the way that they're coaching and just bringing the juice themselves. So it's been really cool to see the defense this training camp, and I know they're just going to continue to get better.
I'm curious. Last year when Kirk was healthy, we saw what he could do, and now he's back out here. We're really getting, ones versus twos and 2 versus 1s. But is it possible that he's still actually a better quarterback than Michael?
I don't know about that. We're just, obviously Kirk's got a ton of experience. He's played a ton of football games. We made that switch late in the season because we felt like Michael was the right quarterback to go with, and Kirk's doing a great job with those guys, with the twos, knowing it is challenging going against the one defense, but feel great with where Mike's at, and Kirk's had a great camp as well.
What are the benefits of having Kirk being able to go up against the twos? I mean, maybe you're able to dial up some different things.
Sure. Yeah, we're not holding back a ton with the twos like you typically, sometimes have to do if it's young guys in there. We've got a good, solid offensive line that's rolling with the twos. Like we've already talked about the receivers, the backs. Competition with those guys has been really cool. So it feels like we're just calling our normal stuff, even though it is the twos going. And Kirk leading the way with that has been big time.
Anything else?
All right, sweet. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.